All right, so look, I just won my first game of chess ever. Like, I've never played chess in my life. I've always been curious to learn, but I never actually sat down and took the time. So I got this game on the Nintendo Switch that kind of teaches you the basics of chess. And I just started playing it today, well, yesterday. Um, and today I won my first game. And what's cool is what it allows you to do is after the game is over, you can kind of go move by move and kind of replay the game. So that's what I'm gonna do here. So normally the first thing I had been moving were my pawns, and that's usually what the first thing the computer does too. So, but instead this time I decided to move my my knight first. So I did that. Computer moved their pawn. My next move, I moved a pawn. They moved their queen. I took their pawn with my knight. Yeah, with my knight. Then they took my my knight with the queen. So then I moved another pawn up here. They took my pawn, but that's what I wanted them to do, so I could use my queen to take their queen. Next move, they move a pawn up. I take their pawn with my pawn. They move another pawn up. I move back because my queen's kind of in danger. They moved another pawn up. I moved a pawn up. They moved their knight up behind their pawn. I moved my queen back up here because I want to go after their knight, I think. So, yeah, so I knew that that knight was going to take my pawn and it would leave them in position for my queen to take their knight. So that's what I did. That's the first check of the game, which just means the king is in danger. They move their other knight up. I just moved my queen back to get it out of danger. They move their bishop down there in front of the knight. I took the bishop. My queen's not in danger. They move their rook over to the right. I move my bishop up there. They move their rook down to put my king in check, but that's no problem. I just take my king and take their rook. They move a pawn up. And their king is kind of like almost in trouble, but I need to kind of figure out a way to seal the deal here. So I move my knight up. They take my pawn because I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize that was about to happen. That was my mistake. I move my knight up, trying to figure out a way to trap their king. They move a pawn down. I take their pawn with my pawn. They move another pawn down. I move, and this is pretty much the beginning of the end. I move my rook over one space because my plan is to move him all the way up to the other end of the board because that'll basically trap the king and not allow them to move. So they make their move there, which really does nothing for them. And it took me a while to actually kind of see what was going on, but next move,
checkmate.
Wrapped up, checkmate. First win ever. Let's go.